welcome to Discussion Friday podcast. Today we will be talking about Antarctica. For as far as I can remember, um, I've always been fascinated by maps. And a few years back, I came across the Piri Race map, which is a world map that's been compiled in 1513 by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis, where it is shown that some pieces of land that was south of Cape Good Hope, that there was some there. There was something down there. Um, but it's only in 1821 that actually the first man set a foot on the ice of Antarctica. The period map shows no ice in the area, though. So that's kind of interesting there. So, Antarctica. So many things about this lost continent. So many stories, so many conspiracies. Anything from alien base to Nazi complex under the ice where Hitler went in hiding at the end of the war. Some other stories that are really compelling also. But since there's a huge lack of proof on any of this, let's just start with something that is more verifiable facts. So Antarctica is definitely known for its brutal climate. The mean temperature is about what? Between, like the highest, I think, of the mean temperature is minus 57 Celsius at the interior, where along the coast it's something like minus 10 Celsius. The lowest temperature ever recorded there was minus 98 Celsius, and the warmest at 17.5 Celsius. Now that's really cold, and it makes a very harsh environment, even for the penguins over there. But on top of that, you have a lot of very interesting features. For example, Mount Erebus. It's an active volcano that's in the Antarctic. Yeah, active volcano erupting from time to time, lava and everything. Another interesting feature is that the vast quantity of coal that's there. Yeah, coal, like in old forest type of deal. In Antarctica? Yep, there is. And you have to know that Antarctica have not always been where it is now, of course. It has moved and later on was covered in snow and ice. And in those very difficult conditions, this is this has been discovered only later in history. So coal is not the only thing that's out there either. There's a lot of different minerals that you can find there, minerals that we could probably go and get if we actually need. So knowing this and knowing how pristine the area is, in 1991 they actually got a treaty out. They called it the Antarctic Treaty System. It actually stopped any mining activity in Antarctica because they wanted to protect the environment over there. They just don't want it to be touched too much. Another very interesting fact about Antarctica is that there's actually an area in Antarctica that is much warmer. That area is named Bunger Hill. Bunger, hills. And it's even called a warm oasis. So you even have lakes. Yeah, liquid lakes, water. Well, since we're talking about lakes, there's the Schirmacher. Um, it's a German sounding name, so sorry about the pronunciation here. It's a oasis. Schirmacher's Schirmacher. There you go. Oasis. That's there. And it's actually fresh water. So it's not salt water, it's actually fresh water that's there. So I know what some people are saying right now. Say, wait. You said the temperature was at best minus 10 on average. How is that even possible? To get some fresh water, salt water, maybe, since the salt in the water will make it harder to freeze. But fresh water? Impossible. Would be ice. Well, not really impossible. There's a few things about this oasis. First, okay, most of it is under ice, so temperature there is more stable. And remember, active volcano, so definitely would make some area that would be above freezing, especially if it's under the ice. So now that we're done with the environment thing, let's move to human activities out there. One of the easiest research that would be for you to start with Operation Deep Freeze, okay, which is a code name for missions in Antarctica and multiple missions. Operation Deep Freeze is actually multi countries that are going there for different reasons. And there's a lot of them. There's quite a few. The main ones, of course, are that definitely would bring attention to the overall reasons and whatever's going there. There's three main countries. Actually, Nazi Germany was there in 1938, 39 in that area. And there's even a region in Antarctica, Swabia region, they call it, or Swabia expedition, but there's still a region named that. The Soviet Union was there also in between 1955 and 1958, and of course the U.S. since 1928, and even up to now. So why would people go there, right? Especially those countries that would be going there at those specific time. Okay, um, so because of all the activity that was there, definitely that's the reason. That's one of the main reason why they decided with this Antarctic treaty system. So the continent they would have something there that would be a little bit more um, quiet, safe, or let's say more neutral, because they want to definitely remove war competition that would be there, preserving that way Antarctica in its purest form possible. Now, this, of course, did not prevent the different countries to build military base in Antarctica, and maybe one of the most famous or infamous, depending on what you're looking at, is McMurdo Station that's there. Um, the base is still under management of the U.S. today, but has been claimed by New Zealand a long time ago. When the U.S. were occupying the base between 1964 and 1972, there was some problems, I should say. And the most problems were because, well, actually, because of the very harsh environment, the base needed some very stable electricity as much as possible, right? Um, and that um, that is actually, or was actually, one of the main issue there, because their power source was a small portable nuclear power plant. And the main issue with this is that, well, after a while, they noticed that there was a lot of people that were there, that were or worked at McMurdo for more or less long period of time, and they started to die from cancer and other radiation related health issues. With the later investigation, they saw that actually the reactor had over 400 malfunctions during its operation time, like anything from hairline cracks into the reactor itself to just leaks, etc., etc. And I say just leaks as if it's nothing, but that's pretty much what it is that's what they found in there. So, needless to say that when all this came back, there was some holdbacks on the research done at the base, and that's why at the end the U.S. actually removed themselves from there. So the different research that are done in Antarctica are mainly done with the idea of health of the Earth in mind. For example, research on atmospheric biology of animals that come to the Antarctic beaches to breed, glaciology, volcanology, oceanography, other human physiological or psychology. So that is all done in those bases in there. And yes, I said before, military base, but also they're doing research there. Now, there's something that also is a little bit more recent, is that we actually found quite a bit with the ANITA uh, detector. ANITA stands for Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna. So, what was that for, really? They wanted to identify high energy neutrinos that were created by collisions between cosmic rays and the cosmic microwaves, photons, that are in the universe. So it gives the opportunity to study actually the law of physics um, at the energy frontier, like they say. So what they did is they took a balloon, airborne. They put it on the payload. They put in the machine in the payload, and they circled the continent of Antarctica at about 35,000 meters in the air. They scanned the expanse of ice, okay, so that they could see the pulses of radio emission that would be generated from those neutrinos collisions coming from space. Now, they were expecting, and that was done in 2006, what they were expecting to see was the rebound of energy coming from the space, but what they actually saw is that there was cosmic rays that were coming from Antarctica going into space. So, as all good scientists do, they redid the experiment multiple times, saying, well, okay, maybe this is a fluke, maybe it's not. So they went up to 2014, where they picked up the same energy shooting out of Antarctica again and again. Now, that in itself is stunning because it defies the law of physics. This should not happen. This should not be. So, not only because it did not happen only once, it happened multiple times. So, there's still, today, looking at this one, this was breaking news. Not only to the scientific realm, but in mainstream news too. You just have to look at this into pretty much any news that you can see, any news site that you can see on internet, and you will see they're talking about that. They just don't know what happened, what it is, and why it's there. It defies the law of physics. Now, all those things about this marvelous continent that is Antarctica is certainly interesting and fuels a lot of speculation and theories. One can understand the strategic interest of warring nations in the poles, right? So you can say, well, if there's some such power in the pole in Antarctica, maybe we should go there, especially if you are a warring nation and you want to get as much power as you can. So, but it also fuels a lot of theories, right? So, why Germany was in Antarctica? Why did it deny it later? They said, no, no, we never went there. That's not true. They went. In 2006, there's a Russian documentary that is talking about a fight in the Antarctic Sea in 1946, 1947, around that area. It was between the Allied force, like USA and Russia, and there was a alien Nazi alliance that they were fighting, and they won because of overwhelming superiority of their technology. How much is this is actually true? I don't know. But it's, like I said before, it fuels a lot of histories and stories and theories, of course. There's even some people that are saying that Antarctica could be where the famous Atlantis was when the whole continent moved further south during a cataclysm that would have destroyed Atlantis and buried it under the ice. There's a guy by the name of Corey Good. This guy is a whistleblower of the secret space program. He's also talking about an alien base, very, very, very old, not like as in necessarily active one, but there's something there that's under the ice of Antarctica. There's satellite pictures that was taken from Google Earth where you could see what looks like tank guarding what also looks like a crashed UFO. But that image is now nowhere to be seen on Google Earth. But some people pretend that they took that picture, saved it, and you can see the picture. It definitely looks like that. I mean, I know that Antarctica is surrounded by mysteries. We have laws of physics that are broken in the area. What else is there to discover? What do we know that has not been published yet? Why is Antarctica in the news so much? But even with hot breaking news, it gets put on some type distance back burner to cool down, pun intended. But the real question is, who's the Penguin
favorite aunt? I guess it would be the Antarctic.
All right, so on those somewhat punny words, I'd say much love, take care, and see you guys on another podcast.